Okay, awesome. Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Brenda Geary, and I'm so excited to be on with you this evening to share about the LifeVantage opportunity. I'm going to be sharing with you information tonight about some category creating products that have been amazing in my life, and we're going to talk to you about those products and how I got involved, and then I'm also going to talk to you about why it's an amazing business opportunity as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll also share a little bit about my story with you guys as well. Okay, so tonight, let's see if I can, let's see, how do I get it so that I'm showing up here? Okay, here we go. Okay, so who's talking with you tonight, and what are we going to be talking about for those of you guys that are invited guests? So tonight we're going to be talking about the science of nutrigenomics, and nutrigenomics is the research of how nutrients and natural compounds affect our genes. We're going to be talking about how that we really have an opportunity to have more control over our health than maybe we've thought about in the past. So who's this girl talking to you this evening? My name is Brenda Geary, and I'm super excited to share just because of how amazing these products have been in my life. And not everybody has my story, but I do share my story because I believe that everything happens for a purpose. And so my background before LifeVantage is I was in corporate America. I was actually a vice president of human resources for a major company, and I was almost 20 years and high level, and I traveled. I've traveled the world, and I loved what I was doing. I loved what I did because I love helping people, and it was a very, very stressful environment. And then life happened for me. So I'm passionate about health and wellness because I'm that individual that went from being completely healthy to then having a health challenge where then for the next 8 to 10 years, I was living with chronic illness and chronic issues. And as I go into the presentation and as I share my story, I want you to understand, and I'll say the disclaimer up front, that our products are not meant to treat, cure, prevent, mitigate, or diagnose any type of disease. I'm just sharing what happened for me. And so for me, what happened is I was in corporate America, and then I got sick in 2004. I developed a number of really debilitating issues, including like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and just, I really don't think people understand how much we take our health for granted until we've lost our health. That was certainly my situation. And so at my sickest, I ended up in bed 20 hours a day. I was on 24 prescription medications, as you can kind of see here. And life, it was really, really rough. So I was praying for something to come into my life. And it came in the form of a 24-year-old young man who met my husband at a McDonald's. And when my husband, they were talking, and he simply asked my husband, would you be open to watching an ABC investigative report that features the product that I rep for? And my husband said yes, that he would be open to that. And so he got home from the McDonald's, and he watched the ABC primetime, and he got me out of bed. He called me, he said, Brenda, you gotta get out of bed. He literally went to the bedroom, pulled me out of bed, because at that point I had chronic nausea, chronic vertigo. I was just in chronic pain. And so he got me out of bed, and I watched the ABC primetime, and I said, wow, what if this could help me? What if it could be the one thing that I've tried so many different things. I've tried so many supplements. I tried so many prescription medications, and I was just praying for something. So I said, I have nothing to lose, and I have everything to gain. And for anybody that's watching this evening, where a friend may have invited you, I just say to some people, or maybe you've tried a lot of different things, I just say, what if this can be the thing that helps you out? And again, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I started to, really literally get my life back. And I'm not going to go into all the details of that, but right as I was feeling a ton better, out of bed, feeling like I was living again, we got involved in the business in August of 2011. Well, November 2011, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was like, are you kidding me? It was like a punch to the gut. And so I'm a pretty positive person, as you guys can tell. And so I just said, you know what, let's get her done. What do we got to do? It was both breasts. It was in my lymph nodes. And I just felt like God had a bigger purpose for me and another part of my story. So I went through chemotherapy, radiation therapy. You can kind of see the pictures here. I'm 5 years now in remission. And my belief for, again, people taking care of their bodies has grown even more because of my journey. So with that said, tonight we're going to learn about products and we're going to learn about a business opportunity. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition and I'm going to have you guys watch the ABC Primetime Report so that you can get a sense of how huge the opportunity that we have is from a product perspective. And also, just so that you can also be able to see the start of our company. We show the ABC Primetime Report. The first half of it is the old ABC, and it's dated, you guys, but we still show it because it's the start of our story. And so after it's done, the second part of the primetime will be an update that will bring you more up to date. And then I'm going to come back on and I'm going to fill in some gaps, talk a little bit more about some of the products, and talk about why I'm excited about the opportunity that we're sharing with you this evening, okay? So give me 1 second here.
That started the biohacking revolution in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress. We all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, Doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So, just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Xylibum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease.
yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph. Before, and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
Protandim NRF2 is protected by 7 U.S. patents. Major universities and government agencies initiated and continue self-funded studies following the ABC Primetime Investigative Report you just viewed that originally aired back in 2005. These studies continue to reveal more scientific evidence about Protandim NRF2's unique benefits and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the problems associated with aging. The next video will bring you up to date on where we are today.
LifeVantage is really looking at two mega trends that are developing in the world right now. One of them is the rise of the health-activated individual. It's really a movement where people are becoming highly educated about their personal health, and they research the latest scientific information. And then they use genomic results to make health choices for themselves. Another important trend is individualization. And really, when you think about it, your health is a very individual thing.
Biohacking is actually happening to us right now.
When someone understands that by changing the inputs into their body, whether that's the amount of oxygen, how they're breathing, exactly what they're eating, the kind of water they're drinking, if you realize that just by changing those things, that you could get better cognitive performance today, you could have stronger relationships, and you could be lowering your risk of neurodegenerative diseases tomorrow while actually turning on your body's mechanisms to keep you lean and mean, like why the heck would you not want to do it?
We are aging every day. There is a certain way our genes are designed and expressed, and as we get older, they are not expressed as well as they should be, okay? So we want to turn on the system and how our function, our metabolic function, are affecting our everyday physical ability and mental ability.
So what we want to do is we want to understand the genetic code and say, how do we optimize it? I think about it with my own kids. Like, if they're not doing well in a subject, it's not because they're not smart. They just don't know how to do it yet.
So we can biohack the aging process by using NRF2 activation, NRF1 activation, using probiotics, omegas. All of these types of supplements are coming to the forefront of what we now call nutrigenomics in order to biohack the aging process.
Really, to biohack your life, first you need a goal and then a plan to get there. And you can count on LifeVantage to help you tailor the products that we have into specific programs and stacks to help you achieve your specific health goals.
So a stack is multiple products put together in one bundle so that you can get a specific result that you're looking for.
So the Vitality Stack starts with the basic foundation, Nerve1, Nerve2 Probio, to which we added the new product, Omega Plus.
Nerve1 is helping specifically our mitochondrial function. It's helping the number of mitochondria that we need, so it helps the energy state, and it's also helping as far as what the blueprint is being followed, what genes are being expressed. Unfortunately, mitochondria, they produce free radicals, and oxidative stress is actually increased the more powerful they are and the more in use they are. So we need to take Protandim Nerve2 alongside with it to decrease that free radicals, to decrease that oxidative stress that's happening. And that's why we also call it a 1-2 punch, because not only are we helping our mitochondria function normally, but we need to clean up the debris that happens with a good functioning mitochondria.
The probiotic that we have, it's going to improve the health of the gut, which is where 80% of your immune system starts.
So to have the company create a probio that has Wellmune in it, that helps to calm that immune response, and in a time-release fashion where it actually gets throughout the whole intestinal tract, to address the immune system, you're addressing the root reason why people don't get well.
The omega-3s are an essential component of our cell membranes, and omega-3 deficiency makes that cell membrane not function very well. We need those omega-3s to keep our cell membranes, our nervous system, our brain healthy. The other thing, vitamin D is something that is just essential for all aspects. It improves immune systems. I think when you combine all of these products together, you've got the home run.
You're allowing your body to have everything it needs to perform at its best, both for repair, performance, and prevention put together.
We're going to continue to be at the forefront of nutrigenomics, coming up with scientific products that are proven to get a better benefit than you could possibly get by just taking those ingredients alone and then applying that to the biohacking outcomes of our customers today.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. So you guys, that was the ABC primetime report that I watched when I was at my sickest. And as I mentioned, all I could think about was, what if this can help me, and it just what it has done in my body and in the bodies of so many people is pretty amazing, even with our flagship product, Protandem. So after that ABC primetime report aired, the companies, tons of people wanted the product. And the problem was that Dr. McCord was sitting in a small biotech company, and they just didn't have the resources to get all the products to folks. So people kind of forgot about that. But there was a group of people that were really curious about what they saw, and that was doctors and researchers that also saw the ABC, and they wanted to get their hands on Protandem so that they could study it for diseases and issues that they were specifically interested in. So let's go back for a few minutes, okay? I know that when I saw that ABC primetime report for the very first time, I had no idea what oxidative stress was. So for those of you guys that may be hearing that word for the very first time, let's kind of go back for a second and talk about oxidative stress. Oxidative stress literally is like your cells are rusting from the inside out. The easiest visual is that of an apple. You cut an apple in half, you let it sit on the counter, and it turns brown. Well, that's what's happening to the cells of our body, and everything around us is contributing to that cellular damage. So you think about, most people have heard of free radicals. Free radicals cause that oxidative stress, and when you have oxidative stress, your cells are damaged, and that's what leads to why we age and why we have age-related diseases. And literally, it is everything around us. The pollution, the air that we breathe. I have people that talk to me and they say, well, I exercise. Well, when you exercise, you create even more free radicals. Even people, when you eat healthy, your body is just naturally creating this overload of free radicals. So you can't stop it with even healthy eating, okay? So why is this a big deal, that oxidative stress? Well, what science has found is that literally that oxidative stress is at the root cause of hundreds of issues. It's all the stuff that we don't want. So you look at this circle here, and it impacts every organ function. I always ask people to really look at this because I want you to think about, who do you love? Who do you know? Who do you love? And who do you want to make sure doesn't, get these types of issues? And if we can slow that down by 40%, by an average of 40% in 30 days, that's huge. And so when I was first introduced to the business, my husband and I, we were told to go to a website called pubmed.gov. That's an arm of the National Institute of Health. What's on that website is published peer-reviewed literature. That's where doctors and medical research individuals go to get medically validated information. So when we first went to that website and we typed in oxidative stress 6 years ago, there were about 42,000 studies that we saw. Now, if you go to that website and you type in oxidative stress, you're going to see over 180,000 studies that talk about oxidative stress and how it's linked to disease process. And so the medical community is now understanding that oxidative stress is literally at the linchpin of hundreds of diseases. And sometimes people will say to me, Brenda, how can you have one pill, the little yellow pill, how can you have one pill that impacts so many issues? Well, when you're dealing with the front end of the disease process, that's when you're able to impact so many things that are happening downstream. So lowering that oxidative stress is we're literally able to slow down that process that's linked to why we get diseases of aging. And then also another term that I'm going to introduce you to tonight is the NRF2. And if you go to PubMed and type in NRF2, you're going to see studies that are talking about that activating that messenger and how critical it is from a health and wellness standpoint. And then if you type in Protandim, the name of our flagship product, you're going to find that there are 23 peer-reviewed literature published papers on Protandim. You guys, there is not one other single branded supplement that has even, that has that number of peer-reviewed published papers. That's a big deal. So so when Protandim first came out, what we knew was that it lowered oxidative stress, right? But what they subsequently found out as well was that it activated this messenger in the body. And so most people know about antioxidants, right? We've been taught to eat our blueberries and our, other antioxidants or take our vitamin C. But what we learned is that that's old science. I want you guys to think about technology advancements. Technology advancements happen. We had the rotary phones, and now we're using cell phones. You had typewriters, and now we're using computers. And so even with regards to health technology advancements happen. And so old science is using antioxidants to fight that free radical damage. What we now know is much more effective is when we activate that protein messenger in the body, which is what Protandim does, then your own body creates its own antioxidant enzymes, and your own body will neutralize 1 million free radicals every second of every day. And math was not my best subject, you guys, but all I know is that if antioxidants is 1-to-1, and the 1 being the bad guys, and I can take one thing and it's going to neutralize 1 million of the bad guys every second of every day, I know which one I want for sure, right? And so that is a huge technological advancement. And I want you guys to understand, Protandim is not a supplement. It's not a vitamin. It's not a vitamin. It's an activator. It activates our body's own enzymes. So that NRF2 science, I'm not going to get really sciencey on you guys, but I just want you guys to understand that it's a big deal. It's newly discovered science. And so there's a paper that came out in February of 2015 by Washington State University. And in that paper, they were looking at the science of activating NRF2. And here are their conclusions. They said, we may be on the verge of new literature on the health effects of NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. You guys, that is a powerful statement. Number one, this paper was not commissioned by LifeVantage. It doesn't have anything to do with LifeVantage, but they're talking about the science of activating that messenger. And 2 words stick out for me, and that is extraordinary therapeutic and preventive breakthrough. And that excites me. So the other thing that excites me is that there's been other papers, and they talk about the fact that, Oregon State University referred to NRF2 as the longevity assurance factor. And here at an anti-aging conference, they talked about NRF2 as a revolution in science and is the most important anti-aging pathway in the human body. So think about that. Think about the fact that with Protandim, we are naturally activating the most important anti-aging pathway in the human body. As I mentioned, after the ABC report aired, doctors and researchers reached out to Dr. McCord because they wanted to begin their own studies. And I share this slide here because I want you guys to understand, whenever someone says, well, that snake oil, it sounds too good to be true. I promise you that Harvard, Ohio State, Virginia Commonwealth, LSU, they would not be spending their money to study snake oil. These are reputable research institutions that understand oxidative stress and that wanted to find out what would lowering oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days do for the diseases and issues that they were specifically interested in. So Protandim, real quick, it's a blend of 5 herbs, and it's the synergy of those 5 plant ingredients that have it work the way it does. Again, not an antioxidant. And one of the people that I love dearly that explained it to me was that when she was talking to Dr. McCord, you know, when we compare antioxidants to activation, he used the example of, imagine that a house is on fire, okay? Our bodies are on fire from that free radical damage, that oxidative stress load. So he said, so the analogy is, we all know that water puts out fires, right? So imagine if a house is on fire and that you take a Dixie cup of water and you pour it onto that house fire. It's not going to do any good, right? But imagine that there's a fire hose in every single room of the house. It's going to do a much better job of putting out the fire. So that is the difference between taking your common antioxidants and activating NRF2. It's just a fundamentally different way of fighting that free radical damage. We have, and what separates us is the peer-reviewed literature, the patents that we have, and you guys, you know, in that ABC primetime, Dr. McCord talked about studies are just now starting to see if Protandim can extend lifespan in mice. Well, after a 10-year study that was funded by the National Institute for Aging, we now have proof after a 10-year study that Protandim extends lifespan. It's the only supplement proven to extend lifespan, and it was compared to turmeric and resveratrol and so many other things that people use, and it was compared to some pharmaceutical drugs, but I'm not going to take pharmaceutical drugs that have side effects. So super powerful, and athletes and Olympians can take our product because it's approved by the Banned Substances Control Group. So I always tell people, when it comes to whether something is a big deal, I say follow the money. You know, I put my corporate hat on, and there are at least 10 to 12 other pharmaceutical companies that are chasing down the science of creating NRF2 activators to fight diseases, because they see that that's where the future of medicine is going. The very first NRF2 activator pharmaceutical to market is a product that's for multiple sclerosis. It is on the market. It's called Tecfidera. You may have seen some commercials for it. It costs about $54,000 a year. Well, what's interesting and what's exciting for us here at LifeVantage is that Tecfidera was compared head-to-head with Protandim, and in the study, during the study, it was called, Tecfidera was called BG12. It was compared to broccoli and another compound here, and then Protandim. And this researcher that was paid for by the pharmaceutical company, he studied them all together, and in his conclusions, he states, interesting, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Again, we can't make any claims, but I tell you, if I had a friend that had MS, I would be sharing this with them because our product doesn't have side effects, and Tecfidera has a lot of side effects. And if you have people that are looking for a natural option, then this would be something that you could point them to. So we are so excited about Protandim, but as you saw in the second half of the video, it's not just about one product, it's about a combination of products that working together, I believe, are like cornerstone products. So there's another pathway in the body, and that pathway is called NRF1. And to take you back a little bit to science, you know, the mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell. And so what Protandim NRF1 does is that it activates that pathway, and it tells your body to make more mitochondria and to help repair damaged mitochondria, because as we age, we have less mitochondria. And you guys, when you have mitochondrial dysfunction, as you can see here, it leads to a lot of things that you don't want as well. So I believe that we have an amazing 1-2 punch with Protandim NRF2 and Protandim NRF1 to help with cellular energy, and then also getting rid of the oxidative stress. And I will tell you this, I was recently at a summit for breast cancer prevention, and the doctors there were talking about, number one, they were sharing that 70 to 80% of cancers are environmentally based. And we talked about that in that very first slide where we talk about why do we get oxidative stress, right? Same thing for cancer. Most of them are environmentally based. Then they talked about 3 things, you guys, and I love that the LifeVantage product catalog deals with all 3 of them, because they said, how do we prevent and or treat cancer? They said the first thing you have to do is you got to lower oxidative stress. There were 20 doctors from all around the world at this conference, and all of them were consistent. They said you got to lower oxidative stress. I was there and I was like, wow, Protandim NRF2, bam, lowers oxidative stress. Then they said the cells of your body have to talk to each other. You have to have healthy cells. If they can't communicate with each other, you have mitochondrial dysfunction. And I was like, wow, NRF1 deals with that. And then they talked about the fact that you have to have a healthy gut, that the gut is, your gut health is related to 70 to 80% of overall immune function, and that having a healthy gut was core to helping to prevent and or treat cancer. And we're going to talk about the LifeVantage ProBio in a few minutes. But you guys, just, I love the fact that research and other sources continuously are validating why LifeVantage products are so important. So another product that's super important is our Omega. And I didn't really know much about omegas, but what I've come to learn is that a healthy omega is important for brain function, and it's important for cardiovascular health and immune system response. And what I love about ours is that it's actually sourced. You can actually track it on the bottle to the source and the ship. And some people don't want to take an omega because they burp and they get that fishy smell. Ours doesn't have that fishy smell. My husband and I have both bit into it, and it's got that lemon lime flavor. And the other thing about omegas that people don't understand is check to see on your omega that it's got omega-3s and omega-7s. Those are super, super important. You don't want an omega that has 6s. Sometimes companies will, as a filler, they'll use omega-6, but we get plenty of omega-6 from the food that we eat. So check your omega, because if it's got 6s, that's a way of lowering the cost, but you're not getting a really good product. And the other thing I love about our omega is the fact that it's got D3. So vitamin D is super, super important. So we've talked about NRF2, NRF1, omega, and now we have also NRF2 activation for the skin. First to market activation. And the way that this skincare came about was that LSU was one of those research institutions that reached out to Dr. McCord back when the ABC Primetime came out. And they were specifically interested in what can lowering oxidative stress do for skin cancer. So what they found, and you can, again, go to pubmed.gov, type in Protandim, and you'll see the studies from LSU, and they found that Protandim broke the link in skin cancer, literally reducing the duplication and multiplication of skin cancer, right? So they came back to the company and they said, can you take the science of what Protandim NRF2 does in the body and create a skincare product that does the same, because our skin is the largest organ of our body. So they created True Science anti-aging cream, and then we enhanced it, and now we have a 4-piece set. And just as important as what's in it, that NRF2 activation, literally going 7 layers deep, it's also what's not in it. And it doesn't have parabens, doesn't have the petroleums and those types of unhealthy ingredients. Okay, so that's really important. And so here's a couple, I believe that pictures tell 1,000 words. So here's a couple of pictures of individuals that from an anti-aging perspective have had really great results. Our eye serum, you can put directly on the eye. But you guys, I want you guys to be thinking about that this is more than just an anti-aging beauty. It's also for people that, when you think about folks that have skin conditions like rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, and here's just a couple of pictures of folks that have issues: psoriasis, eczema, even burns. Here's one of our friends that got a steam burn. You see the results. So it's powerful protection for the skin in the form of lotions. And then we have NRF2 activation for the brain. And I like to think about this as liquid brain food. We do market it as an energy drink, but you guys, I think it's so much more than an energy drink. And so it helps with mental focus, mental fatigue, mental clarity, concentration. But for folks that just, I drink several a day because with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, I have had in the past issues with recall. And so we find that folks that drink this, a lot of times just continuously putting it in your body, NRF2 activation for the brain in the form of Axio, the results also accumulate. So the more you drink it, the better brain function over time, okay? And again, I can't make any claims or anything like that, but I just know that for myself, I've had a lot of improvement. So we've got 5 flavors, 3 of them are caffeinated, 2 of them are decaffeinated, and what I love about NRF2 and our products is what we're seeing it do, especially for kids on the spectrum, for folks that have issues with ADD, ADHD. And here's an example of one of our friends' nephews who 1 week after being on Protandim NRF2 and Axio, he has ADHD, and here you see a writing sample of before and after. And again, not everyone's going to have these results, but what if by introducing these products to somebody that's got some issues, even if we can just impact one person, it will just be absolutely worth it. So, and you see some other pictures here of other folks that you just see the smiles, you guys, and just the fact that these kids are getting their lives back. And then we have NRF2 for dogs. So people started giving their dogs Protandim because, there are folks that will do more for their dogs, for their horses, for their cats than they will for themselves. I don't know if you guys know of anybody like that, but I know that I used to have 2 dogs that I would have done anything for them. And so NRF2 activation for dogs in the form of Pet Tandem does for helping lower inflammation, helping to slow down the aging process for dogs. And you see here some dogs that have had really great results, especially dogs with allergies, okay? And then we have finally our physique weight management system. It is not about focus on weight loss and meal replacements, but it really is about having a great weight management system where you're also exercising and you're also looking at what you're eating, but these products complement that in a really positive way. We have a protein shake, and you guys, I typically am not a great protein shake drinker because I think they're gritty or I have a bad reflex when I drink things that don't taste good. Our protein shake passes my test. I drink it every day. It's a great vanilla. You can fix it up with a bunch of different flavors and adding, berries to it or whatever else you want into it. Sometimes I take mine with chocolate almond milk and I create a chocolate flavor. We've got a fat burn that targets that visceral fat, that unhealthy fat. We have a cleanse that gets you going. And the ProBio, I will spend just a second on that because, as I said, your gut is core to your overall immune health. And so a lot of times we see all these commercials for people to take probiotics, right? So what people don't understand, and I didn't know this until I was educated, is that you have all these probiotics that are, that have like 30 billion or 50 billion colony forming units. But what we're not told is that most of that healthy bacteria is destroyed by your stomach acid. It never gets down into your intestines where it needs to get to. So ours has 2 really unique things, and that is it's got encapsulation called BioTrack, which encapsulates the healthy bacteria so that it survives the stomach acid. And then the other thing about our ProBio is that it's time released so that it has time to make it through the length of the intestines. And then also it's got Wellmune, which helps to boost the immune system. And that's really super important. So here are just a couple examples. Again, it's not meant to be an instant weight loss system, but in conjunction with exercise and following the meal plans, it's powerful. We actually have a 90-day challenge that's getting ready to start in January. So if you are watching this and you want to find out how you can win $5,000 and a all expenses trip for 2 to the Bahamas, get back to the person that invited you to watch this webinar this evening, and they can give you more information. So, like you saw in the video, I got so excited about Protandem when I first saw this ABC Primetime, and I was wanting to just get my hands on that. But since becoming more and more educated, I really believe that there are foundational products, and I believe that the Vitality Stack is a foundational product for folks to be on, because you're getting the, you're reducing that oxidative stress, you're helping your mitochondrial function, your gut function, and then also a really healthy omega. And when you buy a stack, it also comes with free shipping. So I've taken you guys through the LifeVantage product portfolio. If you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I see this, I just see the value of taking the products. We love customers, and customers don't have to join our company. They can just become preferred customers and get the products at the price that I pay, or they can buy the products retail, whatever your choice is. 80 to 90% of LifeVantage are strictly customers, people that love the products, and they buy them month after month after month because of the science and because of the way the products make them feel. But I will now transition to the business piece of this, because as I've been talking, if you've been thinking about people that you know, people that you love, maybe family members, maybe friends that have got some issues, if you've been thinking about folks, then you may want to consider the business piece. Also, if you're, as we end the year, if you've been thinking about, wow, I'm not where I thought I would be from a financial security perspective at this time in my life, maybe this is something for you. As a former HR leader in corporate America, I will tell you that I never ever would have thought that I would be doing a business like this. I did not know about network marketing. I was strictly a corporate girl. All I ever was taught was go to school, get a job, work, and then retire someday. And I didn't know about network marketing. But what I've learned is that truly done right, it is one of the best business models out there. I also am really hugely supportive of network marketing, because when I was in corporate America, let me see if I can talk to you guys for a second here. Okay. So when I was in corporate America, you guys, when the economy crashed in 2008, 2009, I was the person that got on a plane and I was flying around the world laying off thousands of employees from my company. Okay. And to be in a position where I was laying off people and knowing and understanding what happens behind the scenes from an HR perspective, it's not always about whether a person's performance is bad. Most times it was really about just the fact that we needed to make our numbers, and the very first thing that companies do when it comes time to making the numbers is they lay off people. So what I say is, whatever job you have right now, do it because it pays the bills, or because if you just like it, then keep doing it. But build something like that will pay you residual income, that will pay you passive residual income that you can build at your own pace, at your own time, that no one can ever take away from you. And I truly believe that that's what we have here with this opportunity. What my husband and I have been able to build in the nooks and crannies, because we haven't done it full time, and then also the fact that I was diagnosed with cancer right after we joined made it kind of tough, right? But the next 4 to 5 to 6 years are going to pass by anyways. And if you're wanting to supplement your income in any way, this is a great option. So many people are looking for side gigs. You've got people driving Uber. You've got people renting out rooms in their house with Airbnb. But those businesses are not creating residual income. When you have a job, when you're driving for Uber, you're exchanging time for money. When I was in corporate America, I got paid a really high salary. But guess what? When I got sick and I stopped working, the checks stopped coming. If you're not driving for Uber, you're not making money. What if Doesn't matter because, again, like I said, the next 3 to 5 years are going to pass by anyways. What if you can spend a little bit of time using a system that's easy to follow with a low cost of entry that you can work and have an e-commerce site that people can shop from, where people fall in love with the products, where you can actually create passive residual income, where you get paid over and over, month after month, for doing the work one time and having people shopping from your e-commerce site. That's the possibility of this. It is not get rich quick. If anyone tells you that, they're lying. It takes time to learn the system. But what I love about LifeVantage is that you have a group of people that all are heart-centered, that are willing to teach you the system. So let me go ahead and go into that piece real quick. Let me minimize this. Okay, so we went through all the products. I want to take you back to the story because I don't know if a lot of people know that LifeVantage was never intended to be a network marketing company. Protandim was sold in the stores. It was sold in GNC, Rite Aid, the Vitamin Shop. And it was, a technology company. We're on the NASDAQ, we're publicly traded. So people are like, well, what happened? Did something bad happen? No. So when that ABC primetime aired, stock went from $20, when people forgot about it, it went from $20, the high, to 7 cents. They tried online. It didn't work. They were selling Protandim half a bottle per store per month. The clerk couldn't describe it. So think about this. Until this evening, when I got on here, and I've spent some time describing this, you guys didn't know about it, right? So word of mouth, putting the products into the hands of distributors where we're explaining it and educating it, is a much more powerful model. So the shareholders were upset that the stock price had gone down. They hired a consultant to potentially sell the company. When he saw that ABC primetime report, he said, wow, you guys are in the wrong distribution model for this product. You have a complicated product that's way ahead of its time. You need to take it off the shelves and sell it word of mouth. Well, initially, Joe McCord and the other board members, they were like, no way, we don't want to do that. But here's what they did. They went ahead and kept the product on the store shelves, and they brought in some experienced network marketers. And in 6 months, the network marketers outsold in-store sales by 300%. So sales went from $3 million to we're now a $200 million company by taking the product out of the store shelves and putting it into distributors that are educated so that we can drive sales. And I tell you what, I never would have learned about about Protandim had it not been for Ryan Jackson, the guy that introduced the product to my husband. So word of mouth is absolutely working for this company. So one of the things about businesses is timing. Timing is everything. And all businesses go through what's called this economic S-curve. They go through formulation and pioneering. They hit this period of time called critical mass. And then 80% of the growth of a company happens during momentum. And then you get up here where a company stabilizes, and you think about companies like Google or Apple or Facebook. You think about really big network marketing companies like Mary Kay and Amway and some of the other big ones, and they're all great companies. But the thing is that those other network marketing companies have millions of distributors. You go out on the street and you ask somebody, have you heard about this company? They're going to say yes. Versus if you go out on the street and ask people about, have you ever heard about Protandim? Do you know about NRF2 activation? You're going to have fewer people that really know about it. So the Direct Selling Association says that if you can get into a business opportunity, a network marketing opportunity, when it has 135,000 distributors or less per country, it's a chance of a lifetime. Right now, LifeVantage has less than 85,000 distributors worldwide, about 40,000 in the US. And so we have very loyal customers, but we're trying to spread the word even more. So I love the fact that folks don't know about who we are yet, because we're trying to build the distribution pipeline. Network marketing is not about the onesies and twosies of sales, right? It's about creating that that it's really strategic business about laying that groundwork of distribution. And so we're trying to find other individuals that see the value in coming on board and helping to share the word. So here's our income disclosure statement. I love that we're a publicly traded company because that means that our financials are public and that they're vetted, okay? We have 10 ranks in our company, and sometimes people will say, well, that's a pyramid, you got, levels, etc. Coming from the corporate world, I refer to these as pay grades. Because in order for a person to be a particular rank in our company, you have to have a specific number of sales going through. So Pro 1s have about $1,000. They have $1,000 worth of product sales moving through their organizations. Pro 2s have $2,500 worth of product. So we get paid for moving product. We don't get paid for bringing distributors on. And so again, when I show this income disclosure to folks, I say basically, take a look at the monthly average that folks are earning and stop at the number that makes sense for you. If you wanted to create some residual income, bring some passive income into your home, stop at the number that makes sense for you. And then talk to the person that invited you onto this call, and we can show you what it's going to take to earn that amount of money. And you guys, when I was in corporate America, I was down here, okay? And sometimes what gives network marketing a black eye is when people focus on these numbers initially, okay? If a person's never ever made $22,000 a month, it just seems incredible. If a person's never made $42,000 a month, it seems incredible. So what I like to do is I say, let's start right here. If I could help you to make an extra $580 a month, would it be worth your time? If I could help you learn how to earn an extra $1,100 a month residual, passive residual, would it be worth your time? Because if we can help people to grow their network here, then depending on what their desires are, that can help them to go here. This is not a business of forcing people. This is not a business of forcing people into what we want. This is really a business of asking you, what do you want? And then figuring out how to help you make it happen. So you can build small-time income, part-time income, or big-time income, full-time income with this opportunity. It's all about what your desire is. So for folks that might be interested, there are 3 ways to get involved. We have the Platinum Pack, which is $1,250, Gold Pack, which is $650, Silver Pack, which is $350. $50 is a starter kit. The other, the $300 or $600 or the $1,200 is the amount of product that comes with this, the package that you choose. You're literally buying a franchise, a business in a box, because you get a back office that you only pay for once. This is a one-time investment. You're getting, we don't stock product. I love the fact that me and my husband, we order the product that we're using for our own self-consumption, and we do not, I promise you, we do not have a garage full of products. We just simply point people to our website and they can order the products there that they want. But we did want to be a product of our products, because there's one thing about network marketing that is a constant, and that is that whatever you do duplicates. And we came on the Platinum Pack because we knew that people would ask us, what did you come in on? And we wanted to, number one, use the products. We also wanted to have a few products on hand when we first started so that we could sample them out, okay? So the duplication for us mattered. But we also say to folks, just make it, do what's the best decision for you, okay? And if you have any questions, certainly get back with the person that invited you on the webinar to get your questions answered. Real quick from a compensation plan, we get paid 8 different ways. I'm not going to go into all of that. The residual income, we get paid 40% commission on initial orders. The residual income is powerful because, like I said, we have what are called sticky products. We have products that people love and they order them over and over and over again. I've got friends that sell water machines. I've got friends that sell jewelry. When I buy, I have a friend that's in a purse business. Those are all great businesses for them, but I know that once I make a one-time purchase, I don't need to go back every month. What I love about our company, and when you guys think about a business opportunity in network marketing, having a consumable product is a big deal, because that means that every 30 days, people are needing to reorder those products. And if you can educate them on the products and you can fall in love with the products, then you're going to have customers that are ordering month after month, and that is what equals your residual income. Let's see here. So you have here, we get paid royalty commission, generational match. We have an elite bonus pool. I'm not going to go into all of those because it just, it's a lot. If those of you guys that are watching this, if you are interested in learning more about how we get paid, certainly get back with the person that invited you on to here. The one bonus I will quickly touch upon is the elite bonus pool, because that's unique and that's for people that really see the big vision. What I love about this pool is that when you get to be Pro 7, 8, 9, and 10, the company every month takes 4% of global revenue and they put it into a pot. And the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they share in 1% of global revenue. The 8s, 9s, and 10s go on to share in another full percent. The 9s and 10s share another full percent, and the pro 10s share in a full percent. And what that means is that when you get into that pool, literally every bottle of any product sold in the world, you're getting a piece of. So we're in 12 countries right now, right? I'm sitting here in San Diego. I don't know anybody in, Australia. I don't have any friends in Australia, but I've got business in Australia. We're just now opening up China. We just opened up Germany. So what I love about this is that you can build locally, and it's not about who you know. It's about who your network knows and who they know and who they know. And you end up all of a sudden with people ordering your products from other countries. And just know that when you get to those elite ranks, for those of you guys that have a big vision, that you are literally making money from people ordering all products from all around the world, even if you personally don't have any people that are in those countries. That's powerful. Let's see here. So I love this quote. I'll finish up with it. And that is, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. I have never done network marketing before. My husband and I had never done network marketing before. And it's been the most incredible ride of my life. It is a business of personal development. It takes time to learn it, you guys. It's not get rich quick. But what I love about LifeVantage are the business leaders that we work with. It literally is a company that will lift you up. And, my husband and I, we've been able to, in 6 years, working at part-time, we've replaced my husband's pension. My husband's a retired police officer, and we're knocking on the door of replacing mine as well. So it's super powerful what we've been able to create from a residual income perspective. So I hope that this webinar this evening has been super helpful, has provided you guys with some good information from a product perspective and also from a business perspective. And I just invite you to get back with the person that invited you to watch this and let them know. If you guys are a guest on this webinar this evening, it takes a lot of guts to ask people to take a look at this information. And the worst thing is kind of being held is like wondering like, well, what they think. Do your friend a favor, give them a call back. And I promise you, your friend will just want to know, where do you stand? Are you interested in being a product user? Are you not interested at all? And that's okay. They're going to be more appreciative of you saying no thank you than if you don't say anything at all. Or if you need some more information, just let them know what that is. But if you're ready to get started, we're ready to get started with you. So we invite you to join LifeVantage. Okay, with that said, good night. And I wish everybody a very happy holiday. Take care.